Hey everyone and welcome. Now, as you know, we've got the medical profession striking left, right and centre. Today, it's the junior doctors and the BMA, British Medical Association. And they have planned a 6-day strike.
The core is rotten, and I can behold the tide.
Now this, over the 6 days, is going to cost 200,000 people their appointment. And as we know, a lot of illnesses, it is imperative that you catch them early for there to be any cure. So this, effectively, is them condemning, possibly, maybe, 200,000 people to death. And then you've got this interview that was on the BBC Breakfast, from a Dr. Vivek Trivedi, who is actually trying to justify it. So we'll have a quick look at this, shall we? Bear in mind that it's supposed to be a Hippocratic oath where you do no harm. I think they're already doing harm. But let's continue with the interview.
So patient support is still, and public support is still very strong. When I joined the pickets on our last round of strike action, and when I'll be going to shortly after this, we still see lots of support from our patients because ultimately they want to be looked after as well. But in terms...
So you hear that? That's ultimate, that they want to be looked after themselves. Now, doesn't that sound like if you don't pay us enough, we're not going to be able to give you the right amount of care? Isn't that more of a threat? Should it matter how much you get paid on how well a job you do? Should it? I don't think it should it? Competence has got nothing to do with how much money's in your pay packet. But let's carry on.
In terms of what Nigel was saying, we're not asking for this uplift, what we're asking in one go. What we're asking for is to work our way back to that.
They're actually asking for 35% increase to their wages immediately. And they walked out of negotiations with the government because they didn't get it immediately. So this is an outright lie. Well, let's continue.
That. And those numbers, percentages sound big when you're talking about small numbers.
They are big, considering everybody else hasn't got a 35% increase in the wages and can't have a 35% increase in the wages, but somehow you're special.
But what we're asking for is that doctor who's paid £15.50 an hour to be paid just over £20 an hour.
£20 an hour, so should we work that out? So £15, just over £15 an hour, so we'll do £15.50. Half-y, isn't it? So that's £124 per day, £868 per week, £3,472 per month, and £41,664 per year. Does that sound like they need an increase? And he wants that to go up to, what was it, just over 20. So we'll give him the benefit and call it £20.50. £164 a day, £1,148 a week, £4,592 a month, £55,104 per year. So that's an increase of 10 grand a year. Do you think they're worth it, considering the way the NHS is at the moment? Let's continue with his talk.
And that's to reverse the pay cuts that doctors have had over the last 15 years.
Wage stagnation isn't a pay cut, is it? Is it? Because everybody's had wage stagnation. I wonder why we've had wage stagnation. Wouldn't be because we flooded the market, would it? Wouldn't be that at all. Wouldn't be that we flooded it to the extent where employers can pay you as little as possible and get away with it. Wouldn't be that. Let's find out what he thinks it is.
Which are pay cuts that no other industry has seen in this country.
All industries have seen in this country.
But Nigel's point is that those pay rises in the past were agreed to at the time. You can't now say in 2024, oh, actually, no, we want to bring it back up to where it should have been after all.
So those what's happened in the past actually hasn't largely been agreed. And in fact, most recently in this 4-year, multi-year pay deal that the government liked to previously talk about, there was a clause which was mutually agreed that the government can revisit that in case of exceptional circumstances, on top of the 2% that we were offered. Now, I don't know about you, but working through a pandemic seems like an exceptional cause where other healthcare workers had a higher uplift, but we were excluded. And then when cost of living and inflation was soaring, again, doctors...
For everyone, not just them, for everyone.
Were excluded.
Somehow they're special, though. They deserve to have their money risen significantly. But you, shh, you got no rights.
From other uplifts that other hospital workers have got. So all we're asking for is fairness.
And all we're asking for is a medical service that does what it says on the tin, you know, medical, doesn't strike and put 200,000 people at risk of death, and abides by the Hippocratic Oath. It's not much to ask, is it? Let me know what you think, everyone. I think this is ridiculous. I think it should be banned for frontline services to go on strike. We wouldn't allow the fire service to go on strike on bonfire night, would we? Yet we're allowing these. Stay sane. See you on the next one.